Hi guys, I have a special guest today. This is Shenae. She has a fresh new baby. She's 4 months old.
Yes.
So you're kind of right out of that fourth trimester, transitioning now into that first time mom. Feeling good?
A new role. It's definitely a big transition.
So that's what we're going to talk about today, being a first time mom. So for me, being a first time mom was much harder than I expected it to be. I was trying to be a super mom. I was one of those people that was like, I'm gonna still work and I'm gonna, you know, have my baby. I'm gonna like make it all happen. I'm gonna get a nanny. It's just gonna be fine, right? And
I was the exact same way. Like, I want to do a video eventually about like all the things that I said I would or would not do before having the baby and how it all goes out the window.
Yes, that's a great topic. It is such a good topic because I think a lot of people end up feeling that way.
Yeah.
In the beginning, one of the hardest things was kind of transitioning with my relationship with my husband.
Yeah.
It was funny because we were so like in love and happy while I was pregnant, and it would be like, he'd be like rubbing my belly at night. And we'd be so excited to meet our new baby and everything. And then we got into like those first 2 weeks and we were sleep deprived and we were just, you know, anxious, and it felt scary to have this newborn and everything, and your hormones, everything. I felt like I wanted to just strangle him, you know? And so for me, that was one of the hard things was relationship.
I feel like with my relationship, I feel so blessed because my husband grew up in a house full of women, and he was like, I grew up in a house full of women, I'm gonna die in a house full of women, and sure enough, our dog's a girl, we got a baby girl, and so he's used to all of those hormones, you know? So he's so patient. And in that first 2 weeks, it hit me hard. I think second week, because first week I was like recovering from my C-section and didn't know what was going on. And then the second week, I remember my mom was in for the first week, and the day she was leaving, I just broke down. I was hysterical because the reality of, oh my gosh, it's just us. And we have to take care of this tiny little being, and she's completely reliant on it. And all of those hard facts just kind of like hit you in the face. And you're like, oh my God, what's going on? But my husband was so good at like keeping it cool, keeping it calm and collected. We have a very kind of yin and yang like personality, and that's always been the case in our relationship, but that's really kind of shown through in our parenting as well. And so you have to figure out what those dynamics are. Like you touched on the whole supermom thing, you know, thinking that I can juggle work and, you know, work out and, you know, try and get my pre-baby body back and all that, you know, while figuring out how to do all of the feedings myself. I'm the one up in the night with her, and I want to be. I've fought him tooth and nail. Like he wanted to be waking up for nighttime feeds. He wants to, you know, be a more hands-on dad than I kind of allowed him to at first.
You know, I was the same way. My husband actually sent me an article one day. I don't remember what they called it. He was basically like, this is you. You're like this type of mom that won't let anything go. Yeah. And you don't let me try to figure it out. Yeah. So instead I would be like mad at him because he's not helping. Right. But I also wasn't letting him. Like I'd hand him the baby and I'm like, you're doing that wrong. No, do this, do that. Yes,
exactly. Because you get frustrated. You're like, I feel like I'm doing it all myself. He's like, you're insisting on doing it all yourself, you know?
Exactly.
So learning to kind of like loosen the reins a little bit was a big part of that transition for us as far as our relationship was concerned.
Definitely. I think the first time I finally left him alone for an evening while I went out to have dinner with friends, I feel like that was a big moment for him. Yeah. Because he was, you know, I feel like first off, he really understood what I was going through. Yeah. But second, it helped me calm down and realize he can handle it.
The first time I went out, I think I had a meeting or something. We haven't done the nighttime separate at all, but during the day I had a meeting and I was like calling on, is everything okay? He's like, I am her dad. Like, it's fine. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Getting better at it now.
I think another thing that was hard was I feel like a lot of information makes you feel scared more than it helps you. Like the whole thing about, you know, not co-sleeping, you know, not pumping too soon, or like introducing a bottle too soon, or letting them, you know, roll over onto their tummies, or there's just so much information that gets you really, really scared as a mom.
And you hit a point, and I think I'm just starting to hit that point now, where you understand it when other mothers tell you, you'll figure out what's best for your kid.
Yeah.
And you can read all that information, and it's good to have it in your brain somewhere, maybe, I guess, but you just know your kid, you know, and sometimes what they say the rules are just doesn't work for them.
Agreed.
You know?
Those first couple of weeks, we were so sleep deprived. And I felt so bad for my husband because he gets up, he goes to an actual office in the mornings. And so he had the first week off, but then he had to start getting up and driving.
Oh my gosh.
And at the time, he had like a 45-minute commute. And I would be so nervous about him driving in the car and stuff because I knew he was just as sleep deprived.
Yeah.
There was a lot to that. And then we suddenly started co-sleeping and the baby started sleeping. And I was like, you know what? I just got to do what works.
Yeah.
I got to do what's working for us.
Yeah.
And go with that.
Yeah, because life doesn't stop, you know? It doesn't all just get put on hold for you to figure it out.
Speaking of babies being fragile and feeling scared about everything, the good news is there's a moment where you start to feel a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny now when I look back on how scared I was about everything. It's funny because I'm so not that person anymore with a 2-year-old.
I haven't hit that point
yet.
and
you realize that when you like loosen up a little bit, they start to do more. They start to flourish.
And they get that independence. I know my husband's really good at kind of urging me to do that. I remember my friends are newly pregnant. I'm very excited for them. And they are all like, support the neck, support the neck. I'm like, just the neck. I'm like, water. Water was like the big one that freaked me out. Trying to bathe her and put her in the bath, supporting the neck, making sure she didn't slip into the water, you know, face first, and then trying to clean her all at the same time. I was like, so much anxiety just trying to get a bath done. And now, you know, she gets the water on her face, and I've got to stop myself from going, you know, because she's fine. She's totally fine. And my husband wants to take her, you know, swimming and actually take the leap in swimming lessons. I'm like, I don't think I can come. Like, I don't think I can be there.
You
so
should.
I'm still,
you should do it. Get into it.
Need to
You'll
force
be
myself.
like amazed, and then it starts to you're like, wow, my baby can do so much. And then I guess the big one that was also really hard for me was work. I mean, I run my own business. I do this where we obviously create content for our YouTube channels and stuff, but I also have a production company.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so we're constantly working with clients, and I basically didn't even tell my clients I would take any time off. So that's how hardcore I was trying to be with work. I was like, no, we're going to go ahead and just do this. We're going to still work. You know, I got home from the hospital after a C-section. And 4 days later, I was launching a client's YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
that's
it
crazy.
was a regret of mine.
Yeah, for sure. I think when I was in the hospital, I think I might have actually done launched a video, blog post, and Instagram sponsored thing with a brand on the day. Like, I'm pretty sure I was in labor, like emailing somebody to get into my accounts to post everything live. And I had stockpiled all of these YouTube videos that were already edited and ready to go for about a month or two out so that I could keep the content regular every week. And I've definitely pushed myself. You know, I'm back. It's pilot season now. I'm an actor, so I'm back auditioning and trying to juggle everything. It is a lot. And my husband is on me because I've found that the only time I can work out now is before the baby's awake. So now my wake up time is about 5 a.m. every day so that I can get my workout in before the baby's there so I can tend to her and then get whatever work I need to get done whilst juggling it all and all that. So he's like, you're going to burn yourself out. And I think he's right. I think I've accepted that he's right.
He's right.
He normally is. So I've, you know, got to take it down a notch because I think I've rushed too quickly back into normal life.
It's hard in the situations we're in.
Yes.
Because we're running our own business. So if we're not doing it, we get zero work.
Exactly. That's the thing. You know, a lot of people look at my lifestyle and who have more traditional lifestyles and go, oh, that's so amazing. And it is, of course, but in this situation, everyone's looking at me shocked that I've taken no time off. I'm like, the paychecks don't keep coming if I'm not, you know, hustling every day. So for me, there is no paid 6-month maternity leave. You know, I can't just take a year to figure out being a mom and then dive back in. You know, you've got to strike while the iron's hot in this business. So the momentum's going, you got to keep rolling with it. And so, trying to figure it out. I think I would just ask for more help moving forward. So next time, I'm going to make sure that there are other people involved in the process.
Definitely. For me, one of the things that took a backseat was working out regularly. I didn't pick it back up until I was probably like maybe 6 months out.
Yeah.
I guess in hindsight, I sort of regret that because I felt my confidence level was a little bit lower from not losing the weight right away.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was so exhausted and I did feel so overwhelmed.
For sure.
That feeling like,
You're like, ain't
working
nobody
out
got time
felt
for that.
stressful. It's a funny thing because like working out should be one of those things that like de-stresses you.
Yeah.
But it felt stressful for me.
Yeah. It took me, I think I probably started about 4 weeks ago. So I guess she was just over 3 months when I started working out again. And it was one of those things. I've never really enjoyed working out very much, but I actually enjoy it more than I ever have now because I'm doing it that early. So while my husband is totally right, and I am going to burn myself out eventually, doing it in that early morning pocket when the whole house is asleep, I mean, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
So it's my time where I get to be selfish. I don't need to be worrying about what she needs or feeling guilty that I'm not helping him do something. So it just gets to be me time. That little window is everything to me right now. So I'm going to hang on to it for as long as I can.
That, you know what, that makes sense. The me time is also really important. I think that's something also that moms miss when they become first-time moms.
Yes.
They like completely give up everything about themselves.
Yeah.
And they forget that can really affect you.
Yeah.
And gets to you later.
Yeah, I think a lot of things about being a first-time mom, you really can't expect or explain or be explained by anybody else until you are living it. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of people told us beforehand while I was pregnant, sleep as much as you can.
Yes.
Because,
oh my God.
Whatever. And I was like, whatever. Sure.
Or sleep when the baby sleeps. That like did not make sense to me at all.
Somebody commented on my page, which is the funniest thing to me. It's like, okay, cool. I'll sleep when the baby sleeps. I guess I'll just do the laundry when the baby's doing the laundry too. And it's like, that sums it up. Like that's your little windows to get things done.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sleep. You'll never understand sleep deprivation until you have a child, basically.
Absolutely true.
I say like go out and soak up all of that me time and couple time as much as possible while you're pregnant, more than the sleep thing, because you can't bank sleep, but create all of those memories of your own solo time and your couple time with your, Mr. or Mrs. As much as you can before the baby arrives.
Well, thank you so much, Shenae.
Thank you.
You guys, we have a fun video on her channel as well.
Yeah.
You have actually been asking me about this. It's all about finding a nanny and what to look for, just all of the things that go into finding a nanny.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of in that right now.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So head over to her channel. I'll leave the link in the description box, and make sure you also give her your advice on finding a nanny.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.